Okay, we're at the Bodybuilding Training Center. We got two people here that's gonna tell us a little bit about it and themselves. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, I've been a member since 1989, and training the body has a lot more benefits from it than just building muscle. At the time, me and her mother both trained together, and when our friends were getting in trouble and doing drinking and doing things with their bodies, as far as drugs and alcohol and other things, this was our drug and alcohol. We used addictive personalities, which a lot of us had growing up, and we used it for good. We transformed it into working out. And then my wife became a bodybuilder competitively, and then I started competing and powerlifting and strongman contests. And
then I came.
Yeah, and then in 1994 we had a daughter, and by that time we were involved in our church heavily, and but we continued to train and work out throughout the years. It's always been our home gym.
I have my playpen in the back, actually. The guys used to break me up little protein bars, and I would watch bodybuilding on TV as a baby. So
yeah, her and her mother both worked here, and we had her playpen in the office, and she would eat protein bars, and when other kids, I guess, were drinking bottles, I'm not sure, but she's been here since the beginning. Even before her mother was training, when she was 8.5 months pregnant, squatting, people thought she was going to have the baby right there on the floor.
Yeah, I was squatting before I was born.
Yeah, but and then in November of 2015, which has been 5 months now, we lost her mother in a tragic car accident. The two of us were coming home from the grocery store on a Sunday night, and a buck jumped out of nowhere, full-size buck in rut, came through the windshield, and her mother ended up losing her life pretty much in my lap. So it was a tragic time, but this gym came together. They supported us financially and on all other ways. We continued to train through that pain that we're still feeling today, and working out and training can get you through things along with the Lord, of course, that otherwise we could have just gave up. We could have just stayed in that room, and many days I felt like it, but I had to meet someone here, or someone was counting on me to be here, so we kept going with it. As far as Corrianna, when we tried a lot of different things with her coming up, but when she was about 15 or 16, I had some weights in the basement. She started picking those weights up, and immediately you could tell that she was made to work out, train. She had the genetics, but she chose to use them. Not everybody uses the genetics that God gives them, but she had the genetics from me, my mother, and me also. So you could tell right away that this was what she was going to do.
I knew growing up that I didn't fit into the normal party scene, and I never was into drinking or going out, or I kept trying to find something, and I never fit in anywhere. And I realized that that's a good thing. Training, kept me out of all those things, all the bad things I could have got into. And as soon as I picked up the weights, as soon as I started training, I knew that this was it for me. This is what I wanted to do. So I did, not only growing up in it and this being my home and my family, but I made the decision that this was going to be my life.
Yeah. She was named after Corey Everson, who was Miss Olympia 5 times, and she recently contacted us. She knows a story about my wife. She contacted us. Burt Young, who plays Paulie in the Rocky movies, contacted us. He sent his condolences. People just continue even today to pour out. We have 1,000 people showed up to the day of the funeral, and a lot of them from all walks of life. We are involved in motorcycle ministry as well as this being our second home. And everybody came together for one day, and people from all walks of life. And they came together for a common goal, to support us. And you could feel the love in that room. And everybody got along. And there was different motorcycle clubs there. That doesn't always happen, getting along. People from all walks of life. So, my wife, we touched a lot of people, mostly her. I give her all the credit because she was the prayer warrior. But now we're just trying to continue what we learned from her as far as contributing to life, raising my daughter the way she would want her raised.
And I try to train as hard as her too.
Yeah, she has to live up to her legend. She's always being compared to her mother, who was a legend here at the training center in the 90s. I'm glad I don't have to try to live up to that legend because she was trained just like Corrianna. Well, Corrianna trains just like her, and they train as hard as any man as I've ever seen. And so we have to say that the apple doesn't fall
too far
from the tree. Yeah. And we hope that this interview somehow gives my wife, the honor and the respect that she deserves, and continue in her way of life, which was serving the Lord and training and loving other people.
The first thing that he said to me at the hospital, I asked him, we realized we were going to lose my mom, and I asked him, what do we do now? And he said to me, I just want us to train together, for her.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing.
In that movie called Pursuit of Happiness, Will Smith says something to his son that I've always said to Corey: never let anybody tell you what you can or can't do, not even me. So that's about the best advice I could ever give her. And be strong. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I hope somebody gets something out of it.
All righty. It's a wrap.